I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Silly Jedi, silly Jedi.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Hello, what have we here?
Hello there.
At last! Where have you been?
Nice of you guys to drop by.
Ah, good. New acquisitions.
I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey everybody, welcome to Star Wars Car Talk, the only podcast, to my knowledge, that is all about Star Wars, and it takes place in a car, while driving, in a car, moving, going somewhere. We're moving ahead, just like Star Wars, trucking through, moving ahead. So I'm Maurice from Jedi Toy Masters, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, a wonderful week, wherever you find yourself listening to this or watching this on YouTube. I thank you. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like and subscribe, and you check out some of our other videos, and do all those things because it really helps with the algorithms. And if you're listening to us in podcast form, whether it's on Spotify or iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Anchor or wherever, just make sure that if you have a minute, like literally 60 seconds, just go on the iTunes thing or Apple Podcast thing and just write a quick little review. Just say, hey, this guy's pretty cool, man. I enjoy sitting there. It's therapeutic, relaxing. I'm driving, he's driving, we're talking Star Wars. I mean, I can't talk to him because, it's already pre-recorded, but still, it's cool. So, anyway, back to the show. That's my little warm-up routine. Last week we talked about Star Wars toys, and just when you thought that that's all you were getting, oh no, my goodness. This week, a couple of, Star Wars insiders and Star Wars news folk were able to find some images. I don't know if these were leaked or, they probably were like purposely leaked by Hasbro just to see what kind of reaction they would get. But it seems that Lucasfilm, with its 50th anniversary campaign, along with Hasbro, are planning to really go full force, pun intended, into celebrating all these different eras of Star Wars. That's what it kind of looks like. And I'm talking about this right here. I'm going to post the pictures right here so you can see them if you're watching. And that is that they are, I guess, at some point later this year, they're going to be releasing 6-inch figures. Now, I thought they were, when I first saw this packaging, I thought they were 3 3/4. I was super excited, but I'm actually equally as excited that they're 6-inch because I've started to kind of like, get more 6-inch figures now that my boys are really into them. And, we got a bunch of Mandos and, we got Clone Wars, Ahsoka. And we have Rex, and we're getting some clones pretty soon. So hoping to get Cody and a couple of others, and then you got the Bad Batch that are coming out, all in 6-inch in Black Series, which look amazing. We got Asajj Ventress. You have Dooku. Like all these characters from the Clone Wars, from the prequel era, are like kind of inching their way out in re-releases. Or new releases in 6-inch. Even Jar Jar gets a 6-inch figure, although, I think they Hasbro kind of miscalculated that one and they flooded the market with Jar Jars. And I'm actually going to try to make my way to a Target at some point today or tomorrow because I've been hearing a lot of mumbles that that 6-inch Jar Jar is like on clearance. Some Targets are finding them. Some people have been finding them at certain Targets for like $6 to $8 marked down. So that's kind of crazy, but that's what happens when you make so many and there's not a demand for it. So anyway, 6-inch figures are not going anywhere, and Hasbro is leaning into it, and they're also leaning into the fact that Star Wars fans, not all Star Wars fans, but a good amount of Star Wars fans, especially the Star Wars fans that are still out there collecting and picking up Star Wars merchandise and toys. We love Clone Wars. And I say we because I really love Clone Wars. It's something that really actually grew on me. I actually, I've said this before on the podcast, I didn't get into Clone Wars until way later. When it first aired, I had a hard time. I had a hard time with it. My first experience with Clone Wars was the movie, the Clone Wars film, which was essentially like a bunch of episodes stringed together into a movie. And I really had a hard time from the moment they introduced Ahsoka. I had a hard time with Ahsoka. Like I couldn't get into it. And this is my Clone Wars confession, my Star Wars Clone Wars confession. But it grew on me. It really, really did. The only thing I can compare it to is, I don't know if you guys remember Smallville, the show on the CW. Now, I'm a big Superman. I think my three, if I had to like narrow it down to like, what are the three things that you can geek out to that are from your childhood that are like, fantasy, like, that fit that mold of things that kids are into. My top three would be Star Wars, G.I. Joe, and superheroes, specifically Superman, and the DC world, like Superman, Flash, Batman. Like growing up, I loved the Super Friends. But on Smallville, when they introduced the character of Lois, it was so weird. And I just remember at the time, I was not feeling it. I was like, how dare they introduce Lois this early on? Like, there's no way Clark would have met her while he was still in high school. And she's like a year older than him. And it was so weird. It was so weird. And on top of that, the actress that played Lois on there, Erica Durance, who, I'll get a spoiler alert, is probably my favorite actress to have played Lois now. But at that time, when they first introduced her, I really wasn't feeling it. I'm like, I don't like this interpretation of of Lois, as played by this actress. And it was little things, even down to like her hairdo was weird. Like, I don't know, it didn't. Very beautiful, attractive woman, but it just didn't fit. I'm like, man, this is not Lois. This isn't the Lois that I'm used to. This isn't like the Margot Kidder, Terry Hatcher Lois that I'm used to, from the Superman movies, and then later from the 90s Lois and Clark TV show that I loved growing up as a kid. But she grew on me. That characterization grew on me, and I think the character changed and matured. And once it's as if a switch was somebody hit a switch and the character became Lois. And then it made sense to me. It was like, yeah, you're not supposed to like this character at first, but they grow on you. And that's how it was. Like, that was the point. Like, Clark wasn't really interested in her, and then she grew on him, and vice versa. So I think that's what happened with Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka was a character that was just like, who is this cocky, arrogant little girl that thinks that she could roll with Anakin and Obi-Wan? Like what? No. But little by little, she grew as a character. She matured and developed. And at the same time, all these other characters that you were like, what? Like Captain Rex and Echo and and Cody and all these other, and Wolf and all these other clone or fives. Like, like we saw all these clones in Attack of the Clones, and then later on in Revenge of the Sith, and we were just like, okay, they're just clones. They're all a bunch of Jango Fett clones. Who cares? And I just remember there was two instances in Revenge of the Sith, like one in the beginning where one of the pilots of like a starship is like in trouble, and Obi-Wan and Anakin wants to go help him, and Obi-Wan says, they're doing their job so we can do ours. Kind of like dismissing the fact that like, this guy's gonna die, but you know what? These let the clones do what they do. which at the time I was like, okay, because I didn't really care too much about the clones. They're just clones. They're just soldiers or whatever. They're like they're a battle fodder or whatever. But then later in the movie, you see that he has like a friendship almost with Cody, and then that betrayal seemed so like weird. Well, when you watch the Clone Wars, it makes more sense, and you kind of really dive into the fact that these clones were not just clones; they were people. They were individuals, and they struggled with that with being individuals. Because some of them just felt like they were just born and bred for war, which they were. But it was interesting to, that they developed those characters a lot more. And Ahsoka was a character that they really developed. Dave Filoni and George Lucas really did something special with that character. And next to Luke Skywalker, I think it's probably like the second most important, impactful character in all of Star Wars. I honestly think that, because this character has now tapped into the prequel era, the original trilogy era, because she was somewhere looking for Ezra, and we're going to get into those stories. And and even if you could even count her in the sequel era, where she was one of the voices that talked to Rey at the end. But I'm not going to get into that. So it's interesting that, this was a show that I didn't particularly like, and I'm sure a lot of fans felt the same way. And some people just didn't watch it at all, never got into Clone Wars, I know a lot of guys that are like watching Clone Wars now and are still kind of like, I don't know if I really got it. And everybody has to kind of encourage them, like, no, just keep going. It's a slow burn, but it gets better. But anyway, Star Wars is back. Clone Wars never went anywhere, and they're releasing a bunch of 6-inch figures in the packaging of when the Clone Wars toys figures first started popping up in their 3.25 inch form, and the packaging is beautiful. So you're getting Obi-Wan, you're getting Anakin, you're getting 2 different types of clone trooper, which I think is so cool. I think, am I missing anybody else? I think it's just those 4 right now. And I'm willing to bet they can't just leave it like that. Like if they know what's good for them, and if Hasbro knows what's good for them, they're gonna release a couple more. Now, they didn't even announce these at the recent Hasbro event that was online, live stream. They really unveiled all the other ones that are coming out, all the other Black Series, but they didn't really talk about these, and they kind of left this for this weird unofficial unveiling that was not officially through them. It was almost like an official leak. So that tells me that they are just kind of like wanting to test the waters to see what kind of buzz this is going to create. Like, I can't see this not creating buzz. I'm from the day that it was kind of posted. I stumbled onto it on Instagram, and then the floodgates were open, and everybody started posting about them. And you got some fans that are like nitpicking, like, oh, this Clone Trooper's helmet is a little bit different from how it was in the animated show. And I get it. You want it to be accurate. You want, these toys are supposed to be representations. These figures are supposed to be representations of their counterparts from either the films or the animated shows. So it's like you want them to be accurate. But you know what? That doesn't really bother me as much. I remember everybody made such a big fuss over the Ahsoka figure and how something about her legs or her outfit was different than what it was in the Clone Wars, but then the version that was the Star Wars Rebels version was more accurate to the Clone. It's like, what? Let's not nitpick over things that are like that. I mean, yeah, they should get it right. They're the ones designing these toys. They're the ones that are, have reference photos, and they're the ones that own the license for creating all these amazing toys. They should get it right. But man, at this point, I'm just happy that we're getting something. It just seems like we are in this weird place where, like, Hasbro just picks and chooses what to release, and they're not taking advantage of the fact that there is a want, there is a demand for this stuff. You know, it's supply and demand, and there's a demand for this. I just don't understand why Hasbro just doesn't open up the floodgates. And man, like, okay, you get these instances like with the Jar Jars or the Rose Tico figures that are peg warmers, and like nobody buys them. I get it, but you know, there was a time when there was tons of Star Wars stuff in stores, and I'm preaching to the choir here, and I know that I'm like, just, you know, this I've said this before, but there needs to be a place. We need to get to a place with you know, Hasbro and just toys, and even toy stores. Although there's no toy stores now, there's just toy sections at like a Walmart or a Target. I don't even know where else. A GameStop. You know, those are really the top 3 places right now that you kind of go back and forth. Walmart, Target, GameStop. And then you have your online retailers like Big Bad Toys and Entertainment Earth, and some of the private ones that, you know, are run by amazing individuals that just want to give back to the toy community and be a part of the toy community and be, you know, you have Old Republic Collectibles, great, you know, you have Skyward Supplies, I think is the name of it. And, you know, I'll link some of these below in the description of the podcast or in the description of the video. And then, of course, Amazon. You know, you have these Amazon deals sometimes. I mean, I've gotten some great stuff on Amazon. They just sometimes are really horrible about their packaging and packing these things. You'll be lucky if you get them in good condition. So what do you guys think of these 6-inch Clone Wars inspired Clone Wars figures? I'm excited. I definitely want to pick these up because they're 6-inch. I'm already kind of getting into this whole 6-inch with Mando and Clone Wars. So I'm super excited about it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Hit me up on Instagram at Jedi Toy Masters. Man, like I say this, I said it before and I'll say it again. It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. Regardless of everything going on that you may not like, we're getting Star Wars content, and you take the good, you take the bad, you take it all, and there you have the facts of life. That's a TV show from the 80s, but you get Star Wars and you get it and you take it and you enjoy it, and what you don't like, you don't have to ingest. Just ingest what you like. It's a Star Wars buffet at this point. So guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Check out some of our other videos. Check out some of our other podcasts as well. And guys, remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them all, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life.